All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome once more to the 2025 Ready to Revitalize Participant Showcase. We're so glad that you're all with us today, and we're really grateful to all of you for being here to support and celebrate the incredible work of these language champions in the 2025 Ready to Revitalize cohort. My name's Anna Ballou, and I'm here with the rest of the Endangered Languages Project team. ELP is a nonprofit organization supporting language reclamation and revitalization all over the world. And Ready to Revitalize is one of our annual programs, which Alexandra, one of our revitalization mentors, will share a little bit more about now.
Thanks, Anna. Hi, Harta, gur míle mágwe was a vet and Sholin and you. Thank you all so much for being here. It's lovely to see so many of you, and as Anna said, celebrate the amazing work of this group of people who we have the privilege to know and have worked with and learned from this year. So Ready to Revitalize, this was the second cohort of Ready to Revitalize. This is the second time we've run this course. And it's been amazing to kind of watch it grow over the past year from when we first started last year to this year as well. And everybody here has been a part of making it what it is. It's a project-based online learning course. We call it a lot of things at ELP, and formally we call it a learning extravaganza, because there's really so much in it. So all of the participants you'll hear from took part in an a 10-week course with 8 sessions, each one focusing on Zoom, each one focusing on a different area of language revitalization. What is language revitalization? A big question. And then language revitalization methods, visioning and planning for language revitalization, funding, ethics and collaborations, identity, emotions in place, and language and technology as well. So there's loads in there. And the first half of each session focused on those, and then the second half of each Zoom session focused on the projects that the participants were developing. So everybody comes to Ready to Revitalize knowing that they want to do something for their language and for their community. They might have a clear idea of what that might look like, or they just have the enthusiasm and the creativity to know they need to do something, but they're not sure what. And together as a group, we work together to come up with projects, and people have worked really hard on that in those sessions and in between, talking to each other, learning from each other. There's people from different places in the world. We're learning from kind of the similar challenges that we face, but also the successes and the wins that we have as speakers of minoritized, endangered, and indigenous languages. So it really is a pleasure for us, the ELP team, to get to know these people over the sessions and then in the months that have passed since. So since we finished off with Ready to Revitalize, the participants have been bringing their projects to life, and everybody's at different stages. So it'll be really exciting to hear how they're all getting on and what they've been up to. And we just hope that you're as inspired and amazed by the participants and their work as we are. So thank you very much, and we hope you enjoy. And I think with that, we can start to hear about the projects. So first up, we have Tamara.
Nwa'ere Maori, Ota Asa le Tamara Oizeke, and my project is creating mentorships for Ratuman language learning in Western Canada. My ancestral language comes from Rotuma, a small island northwest of the Fijian archipelago in the South Pacific Ocean. We're one of 2 indigenous languages of Fiji, but one of many Pacific languages. My revitalization project takes place within my diaspora community called Club Hongangasea, which is based in Western Canada. There are over 2,500 Rotumans back home on the island as of the most recent survey, but over 10,000 of us all around the globe. So our diaspora communities have a really important role to play in the preservation of our language. Here's our project timeline starting in 2023, where community members expressed wanting to record elder stories to preserve our language and culture. So initially it was a docu-series about our migration to Canada, the history of Hongangasea, and the Ratuman knowledge they wanted to pass on. Once joining ELP's Ready to Revitalize course, I felt it was important to do a survey. So I used a global Rituman language research instrument and applied it to my diaspora community to figure out what we needed. And the people spoke really clearly. They need mentorship opportunities. So I work professionally as a youth education coordinator, and so this is something I feel like I can do with the help of the things I learned at Endangered Languages and with this handy notebook that I learned from my friends called How to Keep Your Language Alive. And this is to create a Rituman mentorship program. So then we transition to this idea where elders and language learners will partner up to create a workshop for the community on any Rituman project. People were really excited about this. Everyone said they were on board, but then that's where I hit my first hurdle in initiatives and sign up. So just struggling with low recruitment and challenges with getting the project off the ground. So a solution for this, I thought, well, let's just role model. Let's host one ourselves. I'll lead the first mentorship and workshop with my own skills as an artist and a printmaker to host an upcycling painting workshop where we can print symbols and things onto t-shirts. So learning carving, sustainable fashion, language, and symbols from Rituman culture. My dad, he is a Rituman wood carver and artist himself, and so we can work on this mentorship project together. Through my language survey and my Rituman language campaigns on social media, I caught the attention of the Rituma Project. They are a virtual 360 documentary of the Rituma Island, and they go around to different communities around the globe delivering this documentary series and a storytelling session. So they've reached out to us, interested to come to Vancouver next year. We'll be hosting them, and so I'm looking to use these ELP funds to provide a space to host this storytelling session. So at the end, we did end up getting a sort of documentary storytelling series, but how I got to that actually ended up going in a very different direction, which I'm sure many of you are very familiar with. So here's a little bit about the data, and the research suggested the need for resources, environment, and encouragement. And so that really speaks to needing to facilitate relationships and things for people to do, like projects, and creating an environment for learning. So that's where mentorship projects, language lessons, and youth leadership are going to really stand out and work together to get us into a revitalized place with our language. So that's all I have to share today. Felixia for joining me on this journey, and I hope you enjoy the rest of these projects.
All right, and next up, we will be hearing from Olamonyak.
Thank you, Anna, and greetings everybody from Nairobi, Kenya. My name is Olamunyak Timothy. I am a native speaker of the Maasai language. The Maasai are a community in East Africa. We are in Kenya across the national boundary for Kenya and Tanzania. So there is part in southern Kenya and another part in northern Tanzania. I was doing with the Endangered Languages Project, to which I'm very grateful for, a project to revitalize Maasai language. That is Ma, which is the name of the language in the Maasai urban community that is called Ruai. So we were doing a mentor apprentice program wherein we identify, first of all, a gap that is existent within the community. So here we have a group of people of the Maasai speaking community, the Ma speaking community, who are living in the capital of Kenya, in the capital city of Kenya, Nairobi. And so they come out of the mainstream groups of the Maasai, and so they live in the city. With that, what comes as a challenge is where we face language decline amongst the users of the language who are born here in the city because of the assimilation to other different languages. And so you find that the children who are born here rarely use the language. And so what challenge we face here now is what we may call a decline in the use of language and possibly a loss of it. So now because there are elders also who are part of this community who live within the place, we end up to see that what may be best for us to do is a mentor apprentice program. Now, that is, of course, borrowed from other language models that exist in the world, part of the things that we were learning through our Ready to Revitalize course. And so basically what we are to do here is that we bring the children together with the elders, with the older speaking, mass speaking people in the community. And what we want to do here is for them to do a language, generally sort of a language exchange here. And so that was the vision starting, that we will come and we'll be having some sharing either of the different forms of oral literature, the different forms of oral literature within the people. So they will be sharing stories with them. They will be sharing proverbs, and such things all along the sessions that we'd be having. And so this was happening in the times that the children are actually at home when schools close here in Kenya. And that was what we studied immediately from around the month of May up to June. And so we would meet over the weekends and get to share. We bring the children together with the elders, and so this will be joined in with different other activities, natural activities that normally are done. So, like in any case, for example, if we have children, what we realize that actually, just to mention, is that the model that we had, and actually by the time we were getting to go now to the ground and actually do the implementation, required some different logistics sort of. So we would have to infuse our sessions into the community activities. For example, if it's the boys with the fathers, and I would have to find moments or times when they could come together, either through the times they are herding, early mornings when there is an observance of cattle, when they're still in the kraal, such things. So throughout this project, we had now children going and gathering prior to every session, like as a preview or like an introduction to it. If, for example, this week we are covering, let's say, proverbs, and of course, these all of them are things that are being mentioned from using the language, and then sort of as a preparation, then that is how it would go. Outcomes of the program for us were the hope that, first of all, towards the end of this program, because it's still in continuation, now schools are closed again, so we will resume again, is that this model can be used as one, first of all, to be learning the language in other places for children perhaps, or other communities of the Maasai people who still face the same challenge. And maybe possibly by the data we collected of the oral forms of literature, song, and such is what now we'll be using to as like outcomes of the program. So that briefly is the revitalization model, the mentor apprentice program for the Maasai Ruai urban community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Alamunyak. Next up, we will be hearing from Noel.
Hey everyone. So, revitalizing Tunsavi through play. Okay. I'm working in collaboration with the Consejo de los Pueblos Originarios on this project. And so your first question might be, why is it necessary? Well, there is a very large diaspora community, especially in New York and especially within my community. And what we've seen when trying to help the children learn their familial language is that there's a lack of resources in Tunsavi. There is a lot of resources for Nawa, other languages, but unfortunately, not much for Tunsavi. And also, this promotes generational healing. There's a lot of stigma surrounding learning and speaking an indigenous language, especially when, well, you look indigenous. There's a lot of racism faced by our community, and so this is something that we want to go through. We want to attack. I'm sorry. We want to be at its beat this. Okay.
Noel,
So now, why
I can't see
games?
your slides.
Oh, you can't see my slides?
No.
Oh. Okay, stop share. How do I do that? Can you see it now? Okay,
Yes.
here you go. Okay, I'll keep it like this. I think when I went to slideshow, it went there. Okay. So why is this necessary? These are some of our indigenous language speakers and their children. And so why games? Well, I live by this idea that learning should be fun, and when learning is fun, people learn. Also, we're trying to create something very accessible. We're trying to make it something that's both trilingual. So if participants who are playing only speak Spanish or only speak English and they want to learn their familial language, they have that ability to. And also this helps to bridge the generational gap. Um, the the reality is that sometimes parents don't exactly know how to talk to their children. And so this creates something that is tangible and folks can use as a resource. So the currently what we have to give everybody. Over here, you can see the little gifts that will be turned into videos that are going to be placed on social media. So we're going to have both access to online downloads, a language library where you can press play on our website and hear them as many times as you want so you can practice without any judgment. And we're also going to be posting this on social media because we know that's where kids are. So we meet them where they're at. And so if this pops up on your For You page because you typed in, Mexican and you see that hashtag, you're going to see some indigenous language learning. And also, what my main focus on this has been the creation of Tunsavi as a loteria game. So loteria is something that we often play at Mexican parties. You'll gamble a whole bunch of beans and see who wins. It's kind of like bingo. And so we turned these boring codes into this game. You'll see that there's three different translations in Tunsavi, Spanish, and English. And so this is what we're going to be playing live on Dia de los Muertos as our largest event of the year. And so we're going to have boards for folks to press out, and we're going to be handing out games, and there's going to be a lot of screaming. Um, and that is what works. We've seen it happen before with our launch of uh, uh, the original scavenger hunt in Nahuatl. As soon as you say that there's candy involved, kids want to play, kids want to learn, and we're we're gonna make it done. We're gonna have it done, and so these resources are gonna be available and accessible to everybody. And thank you.
Thank you, Noel. Fantastic. Next up, we will be hearing from Matthias.
Hi everyone. I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, do you see? Yes. So, Demadonol, my name is Matthias. I'm from Brittany, Braise country. So it's in France. It's a Celtic language from France. And I have been developing into Ready to Revitalize the language healing circles for the folks who were traumatized from the language rupture. But within the Ready to Revitalize, I get to hear from Taryn Ryan, that I thank again, about the 1000 Family Challenge, the Maori community in New Zealand. And I decided to go for that project and include the language healing circle into the project. So I came first to see the needs, because it sounded very adapted that the 1000 Family Project was held in Brittany here, because we have lots of adult language trainings. We have bilingual and immersive Breton schools. We have cultural events around the language and culture, but we have a huge gap around transmission into families, where the language rupture occurred actually. And we have also a very fast decreasing of speaker numbers. We've lost half of the speakers in 6 years, so it's a dramatic loss. And it sounded as the transmission into families was the heart of revitalization. So I get in contact through Taryn Ryan with Darren Solomon from the Kotahi Mano Kahika organization in New Zealand. And through his recommendations and the organization recommendation, we have followed many of their advices to set up a 1,000 family project in here. So we have developed a website, and we have started to and register families. So we have 101 family out of in 1 month. So it has been such a challenge. And the project has been very welcomed here. So we have adapted, of course, the project to the issues that we have here. And we have 5 pillars. One is the revitalization around the world, getting the families to know we are not the only ones. The language healing circles is the second pillar. The third one is tools to support parents, the education. The fourth is the link between generations, because there has been a rupture. And the fifth is create small local groups. So we have different actions with from conference to creation of local groups, and also building Braise community, family community, and providing also documents so the parents can have also material to raise their children in Brezhoneg language. And the aim now is to attract new parents to learn the language, and to help them introduce the language at home so they can really get involved into the project. And that's the biggest work we have for the next 10 years. The Maori project was held out of 25 years, but we decided to go for 10 years, so it gets a movement. So the idea is to create a movement, so everyone realized that the transmission in families is really missing, and we need that to pass on the language and to move forward with our language. So the project has been very welcome in Brittany, and I'm really happy about that. And it's I have a great thing to say to Ready to Revitalize, and all the support it has given me, and the language healing circles also to repair around the traumas is really efficient. So thank you so much. Thanks again, the team. Thanks to Tari and Ryan.
Wonderful. Thank you, Matthias. All right, next up, we will be hearing from John.
Okay, thank you so much, Anna. I would like to share my screen. Okay, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, first of all, I would like to thank Anna and ELP team and everyone who joined this wonderful presentation. So my project here is revitalization of Tonsia language through Sunday weekly community meeting. So Tonsia language is Austronesian language, and especially Malayu Polynesian subgroup. So this language is abandoned by the people of Tonsia tribes, even though it is their native language. So it is hard to find anyone of Tonsia tribes to speak their native language in their daily communication, their uh, religion or cultural event. So by doing this project, I hope I can encourage more Tonsian people to use their native language. So here is a map of Indonesia, and here in Sulawesi Island, in the northernmost Sulawesi Island, you see Kota Manado, and it is a border with Tonsea tribes, and this Tonsea tribe is in red color, so it is the place Tonsian people live. And this is the overview of Tonsea language. It's already classified as an endangered language by ethnologue. And also there are very few written documents of this language, as well as videos and recordings. So here's the village that I'm going to do this project. Kantor Wanua Warukapas is the name of the village. So Kantor is office, Wanua is village, and Warukapas is the name of the field that I will work on. And here is the community meeting every Sunday afternoon. So usually this meeting will be attended by only the women and the elders, not younger people. So I plan to provide some food like rice, sugar, noodles, and everything. So whoever wants to come and speak, I will give them like a bonus for them. And also, if they were willing to get a video documentation, and I hope after I have done this, they will call their children to come and participate and to use Tonsea language too. Here also another photo of the meeting. After the meeting, usually they have snacks and things like that. So the outcome of my project, I hope the first one, I can encourage Tonsia people to use their native language. And second, to trigger the government, in this case, a village leader, to continue my work as a way to preserve our native language. And the third is to have documentation of the Tonsia language. And after I document this language, I also will work on Elan and Flex for the data for my research too. And also I will deposit all the data in ELP and also in Paradisec so other people can do research about this Tonsea language because it is very not popular language in Indonesia. So I hope I can preserve this language through my project. Okay, this is the a saying from Tonsea language that we usually use, Pakatuan wo Pakalawiran, which mean blessing of long life and prosperity for us all. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, John.
Yeah.
And next up, we will be hearing from Alexis. She couldn't be here with us today, but she has shared a video.
Bukhanta Veres, everyone. Ancestral greetings to you all. My name is Alexis van Kervel and my language is Khoikhoi. In the South African context, Indigenous people are still fighting to be recognized by our government as the Indigenous people of the land. Our country also has 12 official languages, including sign language, but our Indigenous language is still not recognized, although our language is used in the country's coat of arms, and the phrase that they use means diverse people unite. Back in June of 2022, we had a breakthrough when the then Education Minister, Angie Motshekga, announced that Khoi and Kham languages will be introduced as additional subjects in the South African school curriculum. However, nothing has been done for this to materialize. My language revitalization program is a solution to this. So I'm developing a website called IndigiKids, which will be used as a platform where kids can learn not only about their language, but about their culture as well and the unique value systems of Indigenous people. So our children will essentially be reintroduced to their Indigenous identity that was violently stripped from us during colonialism. And then they will learn it in a way that is creative, that is fun and easy for them to digest, or that is more child-friendly. In my view, a website is more cost-effective and it minimizes our dependency on government, and it's also accessible to all schools. The IndigiKids website will consist of different categories, for example, language, books, fashion, short films, art, music, just to name a few. This content will be sourced from various Indigenous creatives within the Khoi and Kham movement, and a lot of the content is readily available on social media. There's just a need for all the information that is out there to be synthesized. And this is the role that our website will be playing. So together with my team, which consists of language teachers, members of the National Khoi and San Language Board, and then also my colleague that focuses on indigenomics or developing the indigenous economy. The person who is working on the logo is also an indigenous youth, and then he will be incorporating indigenous artwork from one of our elders, whose name is Fetkat Kruiper. So indigenous people will be developing this program, and then the only role that we want our government to play is to honor their commitment and to help us to get our finalized program in schools. Thank you for listening. Bye.
Brilliant. Thank you, Alexis. And next up, we will be hearing from Netra.
Hi, you all. I'm Netra Manirai, a Dumi language speaker from the capital city, Kathmandu, of the Himalayan country, Nepal. I am presenting the highlights of my project entitled Bridging the Gap, How Speaking and Writing Can Save the Critically Endangered Dumi Language. It aims to revitalize Dumi by combining oral and written documentation, community engagement, and educational material development. In this regard, I have already collected 13 stories for those reading materials. In the context of Dumi, is spoken in the hillside of northern Khotan districts of eastern Nepal. It is gradually declining due to the migration, language shift, and lack of intergenerational transmission. It is urgently needed to pay attention that older speakers are fluent orally but cannot write, whereas the younger generation are literate in lingua franca Nepali and English, but unfortunately they are poor in Dumi fluency. In this scenario, bridging the gap by integrating Dumi speaking and writing together is the main goal, and revitalization connection between generations, culture, and creativity is emphasis of this project. Strong community participation, storytelling, and literacy activities connected elders and youth, produce oral recording and written materials are noticeable, which is the successful part of this project. So, seeing youth read and write Dumi for first time is the most rewarding part of the entire project execution in my experience. Elders valued as knowledge keepers, youth gained language skills and cultural pride, families using Dumi at home and events, storybooks, songs, and recording strengthened the identity of Dumi community as its impact. Likewise, limited elderly fluent speakers from the village who are from the remote hillside is the most challenging and required strengthened collaboration, patience, and ritual and cultural sensitivity, which is the crucial part of outcome of my project. Emotional connection is key, and tool alone is insufficient. It's the lesson learned from my project implementation. Collaboration with local government, institutions like schools and any others, reading classes, and different age groups could be the another paradigms of my project. There is highly appreciable the support of providing framework documenting traditional and literacy development from this Ready to Revitalize program. Last but not the least, this initiative will serve as a role model for endangered revitalization throughout the multilingual country Nepal. Demonstrating the revitalization flourishes when communities both speak and write their mother tongue. It aims to integrate Dumi into everyday life, education, and digital presence, ensuring its sustainability for generations to come. Ultimately, we try our best for historic achievement of the language prosperity like endangered Dumi language with mega effort together with the utilization of ELP mini grants. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Netra. Next up, we will be hearing from Olya.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Kalo Vradi, Achsham Khair from Kyiv, Ukraine. Today, Anna would be kindly helping me with the slides. Thank you so much. So I'm actually connecting to you from Kyiv, but it's nearly 1,000 kilometers away from my native region in the east of the country. So first things first, I'm Ola, I'm representing North Azovian Greeks, Orums and Rumans NGO, and I will be talking about the work we are doing together with my team within this project. So on the map, you see already where Ukraine is, and then our Donetsk region or Donetsk Oblast, a borderland region in the east of the country where North Azovian Greeks reside for nearly 250 years. And we are the third largest ethnic group in this region. We have two languages, Rumean coming from Byzantine times, spoken Greek, and then Urum, which is a Turkic language. And all our 76 settlements, sadly, are now in the occupied areas, which makes our community even more fragile, and the efforts to preserve our languages are kind of difficult to implement. Yet we are doing whatever we can now, because for us it's also a symbol of resilience and the identity preservation in the current times of the war we are living in. Anna, please, next slide. We are moving forward. In this project, we were hoping and still working on bringing together native speakers of Urum language, so one of the two languages of North Azovian Greeks. And we are bringing them in cooperation with scientists working at the Kyiv National University. And we hope that this cooperation would actually help us to conduct a phonetic analysis, obviously together with scientists, to come up with a draft alphabet of the Urum language. Sadly, both of our languages require this very basic need for as of today. So we are working on this as of now, hoping also to create a framework for the future work to be done also on Rumean language, because, well, we are a community with two languages and both of them endangered and require support. Then next slide, please. What we have achieved so far, we have recorded palatographic data, so the data from the native speakers recorded using palatography method. All of them are displaced people. That's why we were, in a way, able to work with them in Kyiv, so far away from our home region. It's Katerina, Viktor, Mikhailo, coming from Rum-speaking villages in the Donetsk region. Also, the very early stage findings of our work were presented at the conference in late June this year, presented by Ms. Irina Driga, who is the main researcher in this project. She's a senior lecturer at the Kyiv University. She works at the Turkology department, and this work is being done with her as a scientist, as a linguist, because we as a team represent the community of language and civic activists. Then we go further on. I'm very happy to say that we also received some indirect outputs working on this project, and we can see them on this next slide. So far, we still have a lot of work to be done further on, right? We are not at the end, we are not in the final stage yet. But Over these past 5-6 months, we achieved significant progress in direct outputs of this project. We've joined the National Working Group on Endangered Languages Preservation, working on the National Strategy for Endangered Languages in Ukraine. Then we signed an agreement with the Kyiv University to facilitate our work on endangered languages preservation. And last but not least, we also got a national support grant for establishing an electronic library at the Kyiv University so that literature written in Urum language of North Azovian Greeks would be accessible by scientists and students of the university. So this is our progress so far. I invite you to follow us in the social media. You see some QR codes here. If not, I would be also sharing contacts in the chat box. Thank you so much. Chosalmus, Nazit, Дякую. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Olya. Next up, we will be hearing from Dorothy. Go ahead, Dorothy.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to join you today. Let me share my screen. Yeah, I hope it's visible to everyone. Okay. So let me say a little bit about the community I represent. I come from Ogiek community, who are also forest dwellers, who are found across 6 counties in Kenya. And so I implemented
So sorry, Dorothy, your audio is bad. We're not hearing you. No, unfortunately, we're just hearing static.
Am I audible now?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. I'm so sorry for that inconvenience. So as I was saying, I come from Ogiek community, who are also forest dwellers, community who are found across Mau Complex region in Kenya. So in a nutshell, they are found across 6 counties in Kenya, and their population, according to the 2019 population census, they were approximated to be around 52,000 people. That is across the 6 counties in Kenya. So they have a rich cultural tradition, which is tied to land, forest, and language. So the main problem that Ogiek community face is land injustices and displacement, which has resulted to loss of culture. And from this, 80% speak dominant communities because of issues of assimilation. For example, the Ogiek community found in Narok, they are now speaking Maasai language. Those who are found in southwest part of Kenya are speaking Ogiek, are speaking Kalenjin language, which they get assimilated by the dominant community. But again, with the issue of modern education, you'll find that also 90% of youth do not speak Ogiek, but instead probably Kiswahili, English, and the dominant language, depending on their neighbors. And with this, we see the medicinal tree names that only exist in Ogiek language are getting extinct because they cannot be translated into any other language apart from the mother tongue. So to us, the language is very important. It matters because if we lose that language, it means also losing our survival and our identity. So this is because it carries medicinal knowledge, And as I have said before, is that this medicinal knowledge in most cases cannot be translated into any other language. So if we lose the language, we automatically lose the knowledge. And to us, it is very crucial to have this medicinal knowledge because in most cases, with the issues of displacement, eviction, we normally depend so much on forests to get medicine because of lack of finances to visit the hospital. So earlier this year, we were privileged, Ogiek People's Development Program were privileged to be supported by ELP to implement a project titled Bid to Speak Ogiek Language. So in this project, what we were doing is we were blending traditional knowledge and youth creativity. So during traditional times, women used to bid after house shows. They used to do beadwork as they transfer knowledge from elders to the young people. And most of this knowledge were transferred using the local language. So this is what we were trying to revitalize, and where we purchased beads, and we also brought to board our medicine women who are elders in the community, and we converged in a cultural center known as Ogiek Cultural Center in Narok North. So what happened during this day, the work which was to be done by elders is to mentor youth, of course, through storytelling, proverbs, and the rest. So by the end of the learning sessions, these youth were able to they would be able to earn from the beadwork. So that in terms of economic, it was blending economic work, the issues of bidding, and also learning at the same time. And so these are some of the pictures that were bidded by. Just to go back a little bit, that we had around 75. The time was so short, and the activity was supposed to take only 3 days. And the girls were not able to, some of them are not up to speed in beadwork, but at least they were able to bring complete beads, around 65 beads. And if you could see, each bead has a herbal tree name. So from the herbal tree name, it was not like we are supposed to tell them what you're going to bid. We went around the herbarium center, which has been established by Ogiek women. It's a herbarium full of herbal medicine. It's like a herbal tree nursery. So they met at them across the herbarium center, teaching them the uses of medicine, the names. So whatever the name that the girl was able to guess quickly, that was exactly the name he or she was going to bid in a bracelet. So these are some of the samples that we got from bidding. And there was one which was bidded, large one, Ogiek culture, the big one, but the rest is trees in Ogiek language. And these are some of the pictures as we were learning across the herbarium center. So you can see below, we have the herbal trees and the beehives, of course. And of course, the reason why this beehive is here is because some of these trees are very vital for bees, which are also known for pollination. So we went now where girls converge around day 1 and a little bit of day 2. And this is day 3. Some of them had completed their work. And I hope I'm not lost. Yes. And then these are some of the herbal trees that the just samples among the many herbal trees in the herbarium center. And with this, the outcome of this project is that we were able to mobilize these girls at a cultural center. And the herbalist guided the youth through the herbarium farm. Each girl learned one medicinal tree name, bidded the name of the bracelets. And there were stories of how the environment used to be conserved before during traditional times. So in a nutshell, the creative innovation involves the bracelets, cultural preservation, and economic empowerment. So the beaded words, of course, it's a working library. We can say it's a portable language as a teaching tool. So whenever somebody goes with the bracelet on his hand, on the wrist, the rest are able to learn from admiring the bracelet. They are able to learn what is written on the bracelet. And these are the expected long-term impact of this project because it's a continuous process. Although some of the recommendations that we had during that session is that it would be good if we start this innovation from young people as low as maybe class 1 students, because for them it's easier to grasp language as compared to the elder people. For the interest of time, let me summarize up. So the next step that we intend to do is to expand the program to more youth and counties. We also want to document and digitize bracelets names. We also want to strengthen online ODX classes learning. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Thank you, Dorothy. And next up, we will be hearing from Wira, who again has sent in a video. So let me go ahead and share.
Hi everyone, my name is Wira. My project is revitalization of Tabati. The extinction of endangered languages in Papua seem very close, and if there is no serious handling, some languages will disappear in the next few years. One of them is Tabati. Tabati is an endangered Austronesian language with fewer than 100 active speakers noted in Tabati and Angros villages. This revitalization aims to have indigenous children in Tabati community become more familiar with and more interested in learning their native language by providing attractive learning materials and resources. My first activity was creating illustrated vocabulary. So there are 250 words of Tabati were compiled with illustrative pictures, including numbers, colors, things at home, food, animal, plants, parts of body, environment, and many more. For example, the word Fimbi in Tabati is arrow, and the word far in Tabati is small house or hut. And the next activity is teaching Tabati by immersion method. So through the immersion method, an illustrated vocabulary book was used to introduce children super basic vocabulary of Tabati at school and home, supporting teachers and parents in passing down the language in an accessible format. The activities were short courses of Tabati using illustrated vocabulary, and the courses were conducted in primary school in Tabati village. All the courses were held in 3 meetings, learning vocabulary of Tabati. As a result, from these activities, children become more familiar with and more interested in learning their native language. Hopefully, it can safeguard the vitality of this language and potentially bring several positive outcomes for children and Tabati community as well. And the last, this is a vocabulary of Tabati. I'm happy to share with you all. You may email me if you want. Wanyambe. Thank you.
Thank you, Wera. And next up, we will be hearing from Constantine, who's here, but she's also sent in a video. So I'll go ahead and play that.
I can go live.
Do you want to go live? Okay.
Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen, please? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. So, my project is entitled Leveraging WhatsApp for the Transmission of the Linguistic Cultural Heritage. Which is the language that suffers from language shift, is spoken in the western region of Cameroon in the Ndé subdivision. So when we started the project was somehow stagnating, and we were quite frustrated. So ultimately, we started with a weekly program in a WhatsApp group. So for this WhatsApp group, we had on days like Wednesdays and Saturdays, we were teaching the language in the group. On Fridays, I think we had discussions about customs and the traditions of the village. And on Sundays, we broadcast songs of people from the locality, from the village. So fortunately, we moved from this WhatsApp group to a 1 week face-to-face training. So this was done in August, from August 11 to August 17 in Douala. So this was done thanks to some elders who shared my vision of this project, and this training was approved by the king of our village, and we are really grateful for that. So we moved from the WhatsApp group to this face-to-face training, 1 week. And what I want to say is that the community really responded quite positively to this project, this training, on-site training. We had nearly 20 participants, which I consider to be something good for a start. So I think they were really responsive to what we plan to do. And now we are the training in the WhatsApp group is ongoing. We teach, for example, people how to write the language, how to introduce yourself in the language, how to speak the language. And this is done on Wednesdays and Fridays, and the other days people can propose themes on which we can debate. They have questions on the traditions, the custom of the village, and any other matter concerning the culture. They can ask their questions in the group, and answers are given to them. We also plan to organize a second edition of this face-to-face training next year. We hope that we gather more people than what we had this year, and that the training will also be well done. So that's what we are planning for next year, and then we continue with the WhatsApp training every day. And now, what are the lessons that I've learned from this project? I think this project has really taught me that the most difficult part is getting started with the project. And I was really afraid when I started the project, but I realized that my fear was really the biggest obstacle that I had. But when you are surrounded by supportive people, I think even the sky is not a limit. So I really want to thank ELP for this project, for making it possible. And whatever the outcome of this project will be, I think I feel like I've done something good for my community, something great. And I really want to thank ELP for giving me this opportunity. This has been something that I had in mind, to do something for this language that I don't really speak, because I speak a different language from the neighboring village. And I'm really grateful that I've been able to put this project, to bring it to life. So thank you very much, ELP.
Wonderful, and thank you, Constantine. Next up, we will be hearing from Delphina, who is here, but she's also shared a video. So I'll go ahead and play that.
Dios mepta Delfina Reyes etzonre ayok hayu etz anikok etzengah punshe yahanevin mitit. Colectivo nemukmat etzendun homa es nukva yetong 2021. Uz ese monech schnachp je mohatio mata hatze hatsayu yaktuk ish je ayok ish bekken. Homa hayu yaktuk ish vinzo yak yak gets hu kjostino bia ayok. Hatsam vingok yaktuk ishta hayuda hu kjakostu bia ayok vinzo yaket hatsioyat hatsayu dimat na kjotsalat. Tets vendun mutakvi mutak puk que ukva magtadat junio hatskiukashi 30 de julio y shmugoshk ho y 2025 hats as ndaumba ta mumatsk daum ku yukvano y shmatsk septiembre hatskiukashat mak a diciembre Gehalt para 2025. Vinzose biblioteca QPS tindeka ready to revitalize man. Hoy sabe jumbuteca que shasha tsene hava hatsala mike hayu hu hakeve diondo vap ye ayok kets hatskadi kikutoki. VMZ tsan not yak meha hats tsan ha connection. Hatsam din gok jak nehavatskave hajuņaiduma, hatseti jak hajujun hattijaktun, vinzova nenemaiti jak expectative jak tondo, uk hatsedi tonda hava hatja immersion, vemse va ötsendomba. Homatsaveti jun hapigmen hu ötse hu tehkin ötsietish moda ready to revitalize, Chatsenetsen dok ishta, tok matsk je tombahten, hu stinyak pitsum, je tsenyak tum, shonye hu yak anakshine ayo ko tashe hu handonga. Atse yak anaksha vemse je jun je tombahten. Hu tsedin gok knek tum, je ayo tongi vanet. Vachevet jun hatse hapha ispak patekta ditukhayala kutevani divin montuda hutu yaktuk vin havada hatse titaungada ha ayok kets ayok hats vin zoti kosta hapcheve hada mumats ku tsenyak tonu veman je yak pana shovam je ispak kengets kish Vatse jak ishtiva panhache ha kutekala. Kanjup asnangets, Dios mboho ishupatse chamutunash.
Wonderful. Thank you, Delphina. And last but definitely not least, we will be hearing from Taryn.
Kia ora mai tātou, katangi te titi, katangi te kāka, katangi hoki au. Ko motu pōhoi te mauka, ko te arakiwa, te moana, ko kaitahu, ko ngā puhi o ku iwi, ko Taryn Rānahau. Tēnā koutou katoa, my name is Taryn, and I am the kaiwhakahaere of a community organisation called Kōrero Ki Ōtautahi. We started in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2021 as a group of second language learners of Te Reo Māori. And the reason why we started was because we realised that outside of the classroom, we had no one to use our reo with. Excuse me. And so we began to meet on a weekly basis in cafes, restaurants, at each other's houses, in different places to practice our language. Skip forward to 2025 and our community has just over 1,000 people. And we realised that there were a lot of second language learners out there, but also people that were already quite fluent with the language that were struggling to have other people in their lives that they could use their language with. And so our community grew from just being language groups for people meeting up together to being full-on community events. One of my biggest learnings from being a part of the ELP team is that Te Reo Māori is lucky to be quite far along in its revitalisation journey. So our revitalisation efforts really kicked off 50 years ago. And so we're quite far into that piece now. And so my work is more about, it's not those beginning stages that so many of my colleagues are at. We're past the beginning stages now. And so the work really is getting the language out of the classroom or out of those small groups and really getting it into the community. And so now really striving to have people be doing their everyday activities, the things that they would do in their regular life, but really being able to incorporate their reo and use their reo and while doing those things. And so one of my favorite things that we've done as part of this community work is building skills around some of the cultural practices that have been lost or have nearly been lost. And so one of those practices is something we call pau. And pau, some of you might know haka from New Zealand. Haka is and pau, they're kind of similar, and it's something we've been running workshops on with the support from ELP also. And one of my biggest successes after running some of these workshops was hearing from one of our participants who is Māori, and she was disconnected from her culture and her language, and she is in the process of regaining those things. She reached out to me and she said, I just wanted to thank you. I have just up and done my first ever pau to a large group of people, and I only did that because I had the confidence from attending one of the workshops that you've held. So hearing stories, particularly from our Indigenous whānau, that they are regaining those skills and confidence is something that really pushes me to keep doing this work, even though it's sometimes really hard. And yeah, I encourage everybody, even when it does get hard, just to hold on to those successes. Finally, I just want to say that being a part of the Ready to Revitalize whānau family has been really uplifting for me. This work can sometimes be a little bit lonely. You sometimes feel like you're the only one that's dragging the chain of trying to get people to prioritize the language that you care so much about. And so seeing other people all over the world doing the same work for their own languages, really, yeah, it's very uplifting. And it's so inspiring to see so many people all over the world doing this hard work for their people. So mihi nui ki au koutou. Thank you to all of my colleagues. Thank you to all of the participants, and big thank you to ELP for their support of all of us in revitalising our languages. Ngā mihi ki au koutou.
Thank you so much, Taryn, and thank you to all of our presenters today. Let's have a big round of applause for all of their incredible work. Bravo, everybody. We have about 10 minutes for questions now. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat, but I'll go back to one that came in a little bit earlier. This one's for Matthias. Someone wanted to know, what were the challenges you encountered during the process of your project?
Well, I think the first challenge was to get to found money to finance the website, and then all the tools, the flyers and communication tools, and then to build a team. But then I got to know, because we have already some immersive Breton language weekends for families from another association once a year. So I get to know some other families, and then they decided to help me. So I set up a 6-person team, which was great, because even though I was doing the work, then they could support me and advise me and agree or not agree with what I was presenting. And then I think the other challenge was to set up communication tools, because we had a huge event that was raised by a famous Breton singer. She has been raised in Breton language. She's named Gwenin, and she has raised an event for Breton language a little bit to shake up everyone here, because of the language loss and the number of speakers. So she decided to be, well, we decided to ask her to support the project, and then she, just before the event, she spread on social medias the communication we made for the project. So it has been such a launch for like a huge number of speakers and people around Brittany. And then we had all those inscriptions, like each minute family was getting was putting their names and getting into the project. So we had this very great first launch of the project, and now the big work will be to attract the 900, the rest to get up to 1,000 family. So yeah, that's what I can say for now, because it's just the beginning of the project. Even though we've been pushing a little bit to launch for early September for this big event that was made. So I guess communication at first, it's a big part, so people can know, they can really hear about the project. And then now we have also time to develop all the tools that we will be presenting. I don't know if it was precise enough.
Thank you, Matthias. And for any of the presenters who are open to being contacted for more discussion about their projects, feel free to drop your contact info in the chat if you'd like folks to be able to reach out to you. Next up, we have a few questions for Noelle about creating games. So I'm going to do my best to condense some of them into 1 or 2 short questions. But for Noelle, folks wanted to know, what are some ways to create inclusive games for kids from different cultures, as well as how do you make these games fun and attractive enough to actually get young people interested, given that there are a lot of game options out there in the world today?
So, hi, I'm glad everybody is interested. I will just say this, working with kids is like 90% attitude. It doesn't matter what game you're playing, it's if you make it fun and you seem like you want to be there, they want to play. And if you involve the parents, especially in like community events, even better. Because if you can get parents to laugh, you can get kids to laugh too. Because they see their parents having fun, they want to have fun, and they want to be included. So when I do the games, I tell everybody, like I'll put on my act essentially. All right, guys. Like I scare someone over there. I'm like in Spanish, obviously. I'm thinking is all right, guys. I'm gonna start handing out these flyers, these worksheets, and we're gonna play this game. I'm gonna give you the description real quick, right? So I'm gonna give you a marker, and we're gonna have this paper, right? And over there, there's candy, there's toys, there's whatever you can win right over there. And all you gotta do is play. And you're telling me you get all this stuff for free? Okay, let's go. And then you'd start describing, right? So I kind of like call it like entertainer slash clown slash teacher persona that I put on. And it works. Just be enthusiastic. So specifically for the the games that I have done is Simon Says. So on the back, I've had like the translations for like this certain body parts and I blow them up and from a big picture and I just literally post them on the wall. Literally takes like 50 cents worth of paper and like printer ink is expensive, so uh, $3 worth of ink realistically. And you print them out, you use like yarn and red lines and you attach it to that word, right? And then you're saying, okay, we're gonna play Simon dices, right? Simon Says, and you have the language speaker on the side, me and then a Spanish speaker. So I'll do it in English, we'll alternate, things like that. That's what we've done in the past. And so you come in with a lot of energy. You just gotta do that. I think that's half of the battle is just getting people out of their comfort zones because a lot of the language speakers come from more reserved communities, so they're not used to like that attitude. And I think that I've used like being an American as an advantage to be able to be more of the fun loving one, right? And essentially help the community play these games. And so in general, when I'm going to start doing these things on the internet and right, and you're saying there's all these competitions for these games, how do you do that, right? You essentially when you make the posts and stuff like that, you gotta make it attractive to children. That's why I use like chibis, right? And so I draw like a specific way, because the kids think it's cool, like kids like little animated things, right? I kind of my inspiration, a lot of it is Dora, and I work slash like with children in pre-Ks, and so I kind of like bring that energy, all that kind of stuff to activities, and that's how you do it.
Awesome. Thanks, Noelle. We have a couple more questions. We'll see how many we have time for, but the next one chronologically was for John. So someone asked, considering that young people are the most important carriers of language, but they're also surrounded by so many global influences online, how do you plan to create this Sunday meeting to actually attract and hold their interest?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for the question, Estefania, if I'm not mistaken. So this Sunday meeting is actually official held for the community. So every Sunday, all the people in every communities will come and meet to the meeting, and they discuss everything about what happened in the village, and usually only the elders. So my plan here is, for example, like in the first meeting, I only give like rice and sugar or food stock, everything. And I will tell the people, the parents, that when you invite your children to come to the second meeting and they are willing to do video recording and speak using Tonsea language, then I will double up the food stocks. And later, after I have done with this project, I will submit to and talk with the our leader that you guys need to do to continue this work. I don't know any other plan that you want to do, but at least you have to preserve this language, because nowadays this language is really in endangered status, and um, even the younger generation cannot speak, cannot understand. So we need to preserve this language. Okay, that's all. Maybe if you still want to discuss, I'm open for discussion. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John. We have time, I think, probably for one more question. Um, let's see. I think, Olya, you answered the question to you in the chat. So we have one for Constantine. Someone would like to know what made WhatsApp the ideal platform for your language revitalization efforts? How do you encourage people to participate in the WhatsApp sessions? And are there any challenges you've found in teaching through WhatsApp? And is it confusing for anybody to be using a messaging app for this purpose?
Thank you for the question. I think that was the easiest way to gather people since we are not in the same town. So that's the most the platform that we mostly use in here in Cameroon, though I'm not there presently. And it's true that it was not easy. We had to contact people inbox to ask them to join the WhatsApp group, and people sometimes they post even things that are not related. So you see, when you are teaching something and people are posting different things related maybe to politics or in other different, so we have to sometimes tell them not, or we delete it. Administrators delete the post, and we try to reason them as much as we can, and we remind them of the program, the week program, what is supposed to be done each day. And yes, it's not easy every day, but hopefully it will be better as time goes by. So
Okay, thank you, Constantine. All right, I think we have maybe time for one last question. This one's for Delphina. I find your choice of materials really creative and intriguing, especially bingo. Could you explain how bingo is used in your teaching process? And among the patacorio, spinning wheel, and bingo, which one do you find most effective? Oh, actually, it looks like Delphina is no longer here, unfortunately, but she did share her email address in the info handout. So if anyone has questions for Delphina, you are welcome to email her. And so with that, I think I'm going to hand it over to Eula for one very exciting announcement to close up this showcase.
Yes, stretch your arms and take a deep breath. Thank you all for your patience. And yeah, it's lovely. I love interactive, like online gatherings. So it's really nice to see comments, reactions, and that also reflects how much people resonate with stories like this. So with that, I would love to invite you to apply for the 2026 Ready to Revitalize. So if you have family members, community members, friends who are very passionate about language work, especially in this case is language revitalization work, please spread the link around, which I will just share. It's already been shared, but let me post the link again. So yeah, feel free to share the link. It's application process. So you have to apply and then go through a selection process, and you have to commit through the 8 to 10 week long, we call it online learning series. So if you're a kind that you don't like to have very passive online learning webinars, attending those, this one is a great choice because this is more like project-based, discussion-based. So you will never be bored. You don't need to sit back and just listen. So it's always very active. If that's your kind of online learning, please spread the word. And if you yourself who are attending today, feel free to apply as well. So yeah, we're looking forward to meeting you and make another great revitalization project.
Thanks, Eula. And again, that link is in the chat if you're interested in applying for 2026 Ready to Revitalize. Check out that link. Applications are due December 1st. So we really hope to hear from you all. And I just want to say thank you again to all of our incredible participants. A big round of applause and gratitude for the amazing work they're all doing in their communities. And a big thanks to all of you for being here today with us to learn from and celebrate all of this incredible work. So thank you to the ELP community. Big love from all of us to all of you. And we hope to see you at future events. So thanks, everybody. We will see you next time.
See you all. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you,
Bye-bye.
ELP.
Bye,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Bye, guys. Bye, guys.